Have you ever wondered what would actually happen if NATO and Russia went head-to-head in a full-scale war? Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, because the story we're about to unpack isn't just theory. It's a glimpse into a world on the edge, a scenario that keeps military analysts up at night. NATO nations spend over $1 trillion on defense every year. That's not just jets and tanks. It's intelligence networks, satellites, cyber capabilities, and a military infrastructure that can move troops across continents faster than any empire in history. Now, Russia is no pushover. The Russian Federation may have a smaller economy, but its military doctrine is built around one thing: survival against a stronger adversary. Its arsenal is enormous. Thousands of tanks, armored vehicles, long-range missiles, and of course, nuclear weapons that can level entire regions. Russia has spent decades perfecting a strategy that exploits weaknesses in conventional forces, relying on speed, deception, and overwhelming force at critical points. But here's where it gets complicated. A fight between NATO and Russia isn't just about who has more tanks or planes. Geography plays a massive role. NATO's strength is in coordination and technology, but Russia has the advantage of vast territory. Invading Russia isn't like taking a small European country. Its landmass stretches across 11 time zones, with harsh winters and rugged terrain that have historically crushed invading armies. On the other hand, NATO doesn't need to invade Russia to cause chaos. Its strategy would likely focus on air superiority, crippling infrastructure, and targeted strikes on military installations. NATO's precision weapons could, in theory, neutralize large parts of Russia's forces before they even get a chance to strike. But precision comes at a cost, and Russia knows how to counteract it. Its integrated air defense systems are some of the most advanced in the world, creating a dangerous game of cat and mouse for NATO pilots. Then there's the human factor. NATO forces are made up of professional soldiers, but they come from vastly different countries with different languages, cultures, and command structures. That coordination challenge can't be ignored. Russia, meanwhile, has a highly centralized command with forces trained to operate under extreme pressure and in conditions where logistics are a nightmare. In a direct confrontation, experience and morale could tip the scales as much as technology or numbers. We also need to talk about unconventional warfare. Cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, and economic pressure could play a pivotal role. NATO may have superior technology, but Russia has proven time and again that it can wage hybrid warfare effectively, targeting critical infrastructure, sowing confusion, and striking where the enemy is weakest. In a modern conflict, the battlefield isn't just land, sea, or air. It's also the digital space that can cripple a nation without a single missile launch. And then, of course, there's the shadow of nuclear weapons. Both sides possess the ultimate deterrent, capable of ending civilization as we know it. Any direct escalation risks triggering the unthinkable, which is why, despite all the saber-rattling, actual conflict has remained limited. But make no mistake, both NATO and Russia prepare for worst-case scenarios, planning for conflicts that could escalate far beyond conventional warfare. Now, let's get into equipment specifics, because this is where suspense really kicks in. NATO jets like the F-35, F-22, Typhoon, and Rafale give its air forces unmatched stealth and precision. Tanks like the M1 Abrams and Leopard 2 can dominate conventional battles. On the other side, Russia fields the T-14 Armada, Su-57 fighters, and advanced missile systems that can penetrate NATO defenses. In a straight-up clash, these machines would be tested to their limits. But it wouldn't just be a numbers game. Strategy, terrain, and timing could turn what looks like a disadvantage on paper into a tactical victory. Then consider logistics. NATO can deploy massive forces, but moving thousands of troops, tanks, and aircraft across Europe is a Herculean task. Supply lines are vulnerable, and in wartime, every delay can be deadly. Russia, defending its home territory, has shorter supply lines and local knowledge, both critical factors in a prolonged conflict. It's a complex chessboard where every move counts, where a single miscalculation could escalate into global disaster. And the scariest part? Neither side can truly afford a total war. The stakes are civilization itself, and that knowledge shapes every strategy and every decision made behind closed doors. The tension between NATO and Russia isn't a story of easy victories or dramatic showdowns. It's a constant, invisible struggle, a delicate balance between strength, deterrence, and the terrifying potential for miscalculation. But what if that balance tipped? What would happen if diplomacy failed? If cyber warfare, misinformation, and tactical strikes escalated beyond control? The world might find itself facing a conflict that no one truly wins, where even the victors pay an unimaginable price. Let's imagine the conflict escalates. Europe becomes the central stage, with NATO forces moving rapidly to reinforce the eastern flank. Cities and borders transform into a strategic puzzle. Every decision counts. If NATO tries to push into Russian territory, they face not only tanks and missiles, but winters that freeze equipment, supply lines that stretch for hundreds of miles, and an enemy trained to fight under conditions that would break most armies. Russia, on the other hand, doesn't need to invade Europe to strike fear. With its missile systems and drone capabilities, it can target infrastructure, communication hubs, and military bases across hundreds of kilometers. The mere threat of Russian missiles forces NATO to keep forces dispersed and cautious. Every step forward risks not just material loss, but lives. And the psychological pressure? It's immense. Soldiers, even with advanced technology, know they're facing a nation willing to absorb staggering losses. But let's not underestimate NATO's edge. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance give them eyes everywhere. Satellites track movements, drones map terrain in real time, and cyber units disrupt Russian communication networks. Yet history shows that no matter how advanced the technology, the fog of war, the unpredictability of human behavior, remains. Now picture hybrid warfare in full swing. Cyber attacks disable power grids, misinformation spreads like wildfire, and the civilian population becomes a silent battlefield. Russia excels at this. Every hack, every piece of disinformation weakens morale, sows confusion, and forces hard decisions. In a modern conflict, the war is as much in the minds of people as it is on the battlefield. And then there's the nuclear shadow. Neither side wants it, but both have it. A misstep, a misinterpreted movement, and the world could face consequences beyond imagination. This is why high-level military strategy constantly considers de-escalation, back channels, and contingency plans. Deterrence isn't just about showing strength. It's about convincing the other side that the cost of escalation is absolute annihilation. That tension is what keeps global leaders awake at night. Experts often argue about scenarios. Some believe NATO's economic and technological superiority would eventually overwhelm Russia in a prolonged conflict. Others insist Russia's home advantage, centralized command, and sheer will to resist would turn any offensive into a bloody stalemate. And the truth? Both could be right. Modern war isn't won by machines alone. It's about logistics, morale, information, and the ability to adapt faster than your opponent. Consider naval power. NATO commands some of the most advanced fleets in the world, with aircraft carriers, submarines, and destroyers capable of striking across the globe. Russia's navy, while smaller, is designed for strategic disruption and coastal defense, with submarines capable of launching nuclear missiles undetected. In the Atlantic or Baltic, even a single miscalculated strike could shift the balance, showing that dominance at sea doesn't guarantee safety on land. Air superiority could become the deciding factor, but again, it's not clear-cut. NATO jets have speed, stealth, and precision. Russian air defenses are layered, sophisticated, and deadly. A single air campaign could determine control of territories, or fail spectacularly. And every sortie carries human lives, the weight of nations on the shoulders of pilots, soldiers, and commanders. By now, you might be asking, is there a winner in this conflict? The honest answer is complicated. A direct, large-scale war between NATO and Russia would be catastrophic for everyone involved. Even if one side gained tactical victories, the human, economic, and environmental costs would be staggering. Cities could be destroyed, millions displaced, and economies shattered. In the modern world, victory is measured less in territory captured and more in who survives. And that's a grim reality. The most likely outcome, experts agree, isn't total war. It's tension, maneuvering, proxy conflicts, cyber battles, and brinkmanship that keeps both sides in check. That invisible struggle, that constant weighing of risks and rewards, is where NATO and Russia truly clash. It's not about who can push a button or launch a missile. It's about who can endure, adapt, and survive without crossing the line that would destroy everything. So, who would really win? The answer isn't satisfying. In a head-to-head clash, there may be no true winner. The only victory is maintaining balance, avoiding escalation, and leveraging strength without triggering annihilation. The tension, the strategies, the preparation, it's all about surviving a war no one wants to fight. If this fascinates you, imagine the millions of lives and decisions behind the scenes. The generals planning, the intelligence analysts calculating, the soldiers training for scenarios that hopefully never happen. It's a reminder that war isn't a video game. It's human, brutal, and devastating. And in the shadow of NATO and Russia, the world holds its breath, hoping the tension never tips into conflict. If you found this exploration eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The balance between NATO and Russia isn't just theory, it's the edge of our collective future. Stay informed, stay aware, and never underestimate the stakes.